Welcome to episode 72 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Bianca Rose, Teresa, and Charis. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
It's
It's
Wednesday. Come on, Charis.
One day y'all gonna get it together.
It is our Therapy Wednesday today. Shout out to everyone who's already beginning to join us on our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube that you're watching us on. Thank you guys, as always, for joining. As always, if you've ever watched an episode of ours, you know we start with our highs and lows. So we are going to kick it off with our lows first. B, what was your low for the Wednesday to Wednesday week?
All right. Well, I share my lows for the viewers that are already watching. Y'all also make the show. So this is y'all's time to share y'all's highs and lows with us. So for me, my low is actually happened today. I had a little bit of an embarrassing moment. I got like a notification from my brother saying like, oh, he got like this thing called Instant on Instagram. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I opened it and it's just a picture of him. I'm like, all right, cool. So I thought like, oh, it asked like, oh, like do you want to do like an instant? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me just do this thing. Let me take a picture of myself. And I'm like trying to pose. And I was like, no, that's not the right one. And I like fixed my eye, snapped a picture. It was gone.
It was uploaded.
So it was instant.
It was instant. There's no getting it back. All of a sudden I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages from different people. Some of them commenting funny, some of them like, hey, what's this? Da, 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 da. I don't know who else it was sent to, but apparently it was sent to almost everybody, of just a picture of me fixing like poking my eye or something, because it was like, I don't know what picture it was, but Merry Christmas to everybody who got a picture of me trying to fumble through the new Instagram update.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of like a Snapchat feature, because I had to Google it. I was like, how many people saw it? How do I know it was sent? How do I know what was sent? I was on Google like trying to like fighting for my life. And apparently it was like this new thing that launched today. And it just takes a picture instantly. No filter, no nothing. It just sends it.
Oh, I don't know if I like that.
I don't like it. I told my brother, I was like, brother, what the hell did you do to me? I don't trust you no more, because I was trying to respond to you. And apparently it's out in the open. Merry Christmas to everybody who got a picture of me.
I didn't get a picture. I feel left out now.
Oh, well, I don't know who it was sent. I don't know what the picture looks like.
It's probably
Somebody told me it was
people who have it downloaded already, who
or like maybe an update. I don't know.
Yeah, because I clicked on it today and it was like, oh, do you want to join? And I was like, not now. And then like I could see everybody's like in the corner, but I couldn't view them until I signed up. So I was like, oh, whatever.
Well, yeah, apparently it's like Snapchat. It's good for 24 hours, but once you open it, you can't get it back. So if they see it once, they can't screenshot or anything like that.
Interesting.
But yeah, so they saw my lovely face today unexpectedly. You're welcome.
Nice.
But yeah.
So was that a low or was that a high?
It was a low because that was unflattering and I felt very like stupid to technology. I felt like one of those old people. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Back in my day.
Back in my day. What about you two? What was your low?
My low is that I didn't really have like a personal low this week, thankfully. But if I had to pick something just in life, it's bills. I'm tired of paying bills. I'm tired of being an adult. A responsible adult. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
a responsible adult. I'm like, there's just always bills. They just never stop.
Bills.
I said between rent and my period coming, I'm like, months are just flying by, baby. Just
that's one way to keep track of things.
Yeah.
And Perry and this brain fog got me fucked up. The other day I was in the car with my husband, literally talking, and it was like a word I can't even remember what we were talking about, if I'm being frank. But it was a word that is a normal word that I use all day, every day. And I'm like mid-sentence and I had to stop because I couldn't remember the word. And I'm sitting there and I'm staring at him in like a panic. And he's just like, and he said the word for me. And I was like, yes, like that. I was
Like
like,
that
oh,
one right there.
I'm glitching.
there's a glitch in the matrix, in my matrix right now, because Lord. Anyway, Shari, what was your low for the week?
Honestly, I really don't feel like I had one. If I had to pick something, it would just be my allergies are just consistently whooping my ass.
They haven't gotten better?
No,
I
not at
mean,
all.
you sound better.
You do sound
Yeah,
better.
but I'm still congested. I'm still blowing my nose. My eyeballs are so raw right now. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to do mascara today. No, ma'am. No, you're not. Just stay away from anything having to do with your eyes. Um, yeah, I feel like they're even like low key swollen. But yeah, other than that, nothing too bad. You know, life, but everything's good.
It's
I'll
good.
take that. Yeah.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
take that.
What about your high, B?
Mhm.
Ooh, okay. Switching over to highs. My high was this weekend. I went to Dallas. Me and boyfriend went to Dallas to go with friends to a Shrek rave.
A Shrek
Um,
rave.
yeah, we
Did
did
you guys
dress up.
dress up like Shrek and Fiona?
Absolutely, we
Nice.
did.
I need
We went with.
pictures.
I went as Fiona. He went as Shrek. And then the friends that we went with went as Donkey and Dragon, which was fitting for their personalities too.
Nice.
Yeah, and just seeing everybody dress up as different characters, like the ugly stepsister, the wolf, the three blind mice,
Please
Lord
say there was
Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad, please.
Yes, absolutely, he
Okay.
was Lord Farquaad. Puss in Boots, like just you name it, everybody dressed up. Definitely,
That's
it
so
was fun.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we ended up going to this Harry Potter exhibition, little museum thing. So that was also fun. We had a fun time in Dallas, so that was good.
Good. Yay. Good job,
Yeah.
boyfriend.
What about you, T?
My high is that on Saturday, my friends that I was telling you guys I went to go help prepare for the baby had their
Mhm.
baby. So the baby
Aw.
was born on Saturday night. Shout out to Mike and Kayla and Lil Mimi. But baby's home and everyone's doing well. So
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Oh.
But there is
Switch.
a new baby.
Little babies look like mandrakes.
Their baby did not look like a newborn baby when they sent me the picture. I was like, that baby looks like she's a few weeks old already.
She was ready to come out.
Yeah. I mean, she was itty bitty, but like she looked like she was like, because they usually come out looking like little old people when they
Yeah.
first come out. She didn't. I was like, oh yeah, no, she
Oh, what a
was
cute
favorite.
baby.
I know.
Yeah, because babies to me are just ugly in general. They just look like little scrunched up potatoes.
We'll remind you of that statement when you have your own baby.
Right.
And I'm gonna hand it back and be like, let me know when this spud is a little bit grown.
You're horrible. Sorry, what was your high for the week?
I turned 40. Yeah, I would say that was probably my high. Was real low key, but it just felt good. I'm stepping into a whole new decade, and it's a new time, a new era. A lot of things are changing in my life, and so yeah, it feels good. I'm not even like
Yeah, I
most
like
people are like, oh, 40, like, no, I'm not ready. And like, I'm still joking. I'm like, I'm not 40, I'm 2020. It's okay. But uh,
I like that.
yeah, but it does. It feels good. It's a blessing. And I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome to the 40s Club. Welcome to the era where you give no fucks.
Yeah.
It's really nice
Yeah,
here.
it's me. Yeah.
I can't wait till I not give a fuck.
Yeah. It's really nice when you get there. It's
Oh, look,
really
Unk's in the chat. Hello,
oh,
ladies.
hi, Unc.
And he said he'll be 48 in a couple weeks, so his birthday's
Oh,
at the end of the month
shit.
too.
Hey.
What
He's
are
not a
y'all? What is that? Taurus?
no,
Well, in a
she's a
couple weeks,
Taurus.
he'll be. He's a Gemini.
Gemini.
Rashari, you're a Taurus? Okay.
All day
I was
long.
like, I remember. Go Toros.
Go Toros. Go Toro. My husband will say that's the Longhorns.
Yes.
All right. So for today's show, I'm actually glad that Shari kind of mentioned her birthday and this new era. And we talked about, just a new decade in your life because it kind of ties into what we're going to talk about today. And that is self-love. So we're going to talk about loving thyself and all the things that kind of come with it, and how realistic it really is sometimes for most people. So I'm going to start it off very simple and ask all of us ladies here and anyone that's watching, you guys can feel free to answer in the chat as well. But when you hear the term self-love, what does that actually mean to you?
Sorry, do you want to go first?
She's like, fuck no.
I mean, because like self-love, it's a journey, right? Like I don't think anyone is just like born with it. It's not Maybelline, you know. It's not Maybelline. It's a learned thing over time. So it's hard to describe because it looks different on everybody. So I think it's a mixture of lessons learned and patience and things that you learn about yourself.
Okay,
It's
Shari,
not it's a little bit more in depth than I'm happy all the time. I'm confident in this. It's a little bit more in depth than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a constant evolving thing because like something you can feel like, oh, you did when you were younger, and like, oh, I'm loving on myself and I'm doing that, and like you totally hate that now. So I feel like it's something that like grows with you, right? It's like what's fitting for you in this time in your life, and what's bringing you happiness and peace in this time in your life. So it's really about self-love. To me is like self-care for yourself. Like what are you doing for yourself to take care of you? What feeds into you? What makes you thrive? And so I think it's a constant like evolution of self-love is a constant evolution, and it changes.
Yeah. What about you, T? What's your take on this?
Did we lose her?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Okay, did you catch me right when I said shit? Okay. Because I was cussing up a storm that whole time. Like, oh, bitch. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, I'm back.
It was paused for dramatic effect.
Yeah. Don't mind me, guys. I'm testing out some new internet today. I'm a little scared. But yes, I didn't catch the end of what Shari said, but
Just a constant evolution. And then we asked you, what was your thoughts?
Yes. So my thoughts on self-love. The first thing I think of when I think of self-love is how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, your inner thoughts, from an internal perspective. And then like externally, like Shari said, I'm along the lines of like what she said of like, the things you do for yourself and how all of that evolves and things like that. But for me, a lot of the self-love is internal. It's how I truly feel about myself. It's maybe not the things I say out loud, but I'm thinking in my head. And so like, that's the first thing that comes to mind for me when I think about self-love. I did Google a definition for us just to have something a little bit more defined. Again, internet. But the one that they gave me was self-love is the practice of valuing, respecting, and caring for yourself in a healthy and honest way. It's not just feeling good about yourself all the time. It's how you treat yourself constantly, especially when life is hard. Real self love is often uncomfortable because it requires honesty, boundaries, healing, and sometimes changing habits or relationships that no
Ooh.
longer serve you.
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys feel about that definition?
I think it hits on the fact that we both kind of like all three of us have said, like, there's difference between like external self-love and internal self-love. But it really does come down to what that situation is and how we respond to it.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you guys think that self love, because like with other people, when it comes to like trust, respect, things like that with others, a
Mhm.
lot of people feel like they earn it, right? You earn my respect, you earn my trust. When it comes to self love, do you guys think that is something that's also earned, or is it something that everyone should just naturally have for themselves?
No, I think it's something that is learned. Um, and I just say that like just thinking of sometimes how people are raised, right? Like sometimes I feel like you aren't some people aren't raised by being showered with love, being given affection and things like that. So you grow up with this negative mindset. And when you have that negative mindset, I feel like everything is going to be negative, right?
Mhm.
And so it's a process of you having to learn to love yourself. A lot of people don't do that. And if we're talking about it being like really like a mental thing in the inside and working through all of that,
Mhm.
I think we might be where it's people who I think we deal with people who have less self love for themselves than we think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people put on a facade to
Mhm.
appear confident. Like, a lot of people confuse self-love with confidence, and
Mhm.
those 2 are not the same thing, not to
Mhm.
me at
No,
least, like
absolutely not.
yeah, because confidence is something you exude, right? It's something that you portray. Sometimes it's fake. Sometimes you're faking it till you make it, you know? But the internal thoughts and self-love, like, that takes some work. It's not easy.
Yeah,
I'm
I agree.
definitely
I like how you said it, Shari, is you basically you learn it, not earn it.
Mhm.
'Cause that is, something that you do have to like, your self-love is gonna look different at 13 than it would at 25, than it would at 40.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Like
I
I said,
mean,
it's
there's a lot
always
of stages of
evolving.
it, a lot of ways.
I think as we evolve, the self love evolves. It changes. That's
It
kind of
does.
what I was saying in the beginning. Like it's gonna be different from you being 13 and me being 40 today. Like that looks totally different.
Well, yeah, because when we were 13, self-love was like buying that thing we wanted.
I needed everything from Limited Two, all the glitter hair gel and body spray. Like that was it for me. That was self love. If I can't have it, I do not agree.
So, being that self-love does evolve, what would you guys consider, or in what ways do you guys love on yourself now, in the phase that you're in now?
I would say externally or internally.
Either or both.
Good. Externally is me buying what I want.
Hence all the plants in the background.
Hello,
Right.
this is not a wallpaper.
Externally, it's plants. That's
Externally, it's here on the shelves.
yeah.
But also internally, I think it's a lot of self-reflection and gratitude. I think what we do weekly when we ask for our highs and lows and reflecting what good has happened in the life, a lot of the times it's our outlook on it. A lot of the times
Mhm.
it's an accomplishment that we made. It's a boundary that we set. It's a goal that we accomplished. And to me, that is the self love because I am satisfying myself mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, however way.
Mm.
So, yeah.
What about you, Shar? What does self-love look like to you right now?
Right now, I would say internally more so is like giving myself grace
Mm,
in the
mm,
phase that I'm in life. And that's very hard for me because I'm always trying to overcompensate, be the better like, be the best that I can be. And like, there's times when I don't hit that mark. And normally I would like really beat myself up about it. But I think now I'm just like kind of in the phase where I'm like, look, you're doing your best, you're giving it all you got. You can't ask for more. Like,
mm,
if I was totally slacking off, then that would be one thing.
right.
Um, externally, I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of just in the phase of like chasing my dreams right now. So I would say it's that maybe.
Nice.
What about you, T?
For me, internally, I have to agree a lot with what Shari just said because in the phase that I'm in now, I have to give myself a lot of grace. Um, I've struggled a lot with self criticism. And so I've had to learn throughout the years how to give myself grace, how to be kind to myself. Because trust me, there's no one in the world that could criticize me more than I criticize myself.
Yep.
And I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, and that is the internal way of me showing myself self-love, is giving myself grace. Is when I am starting to get a little hard on myself, I'm like, but wait,
Mm-hmm.
if this was someone else, you wouldn't be talking to them like this.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like giving myself that kind of perspective. Externally, my self-love for the last several years has appeared in the form of boundaries. I have
Ooh.
learned to establish a lot more boundaries with a lot of people in my life. Um, that's why the last part of that definition where it talked about like either getting rid of like people or something like that, I said how to treat yourself, especially, or no, excuse me, changing habits or relationships that no longer serve you. Like that has been how my self-love has showed up for me in the last few years, is creating boundaries, understanding that and Ashley would be so proud of me. You guys met her during game night. Understanding that no is a complete sentence. I don't have to explain myself to people. I don't, if I feel like it doesn't suit me, that's my
Mm-hmm.
self-love, is creating that boundary where I'm saying like, no, period. Nope,
Yeah.
period.
I think I
Um,
struggle with that a lot. So that's definitely a hard thing to do for a lot of people. It's, do as I say, not as I do, or better
mhm,
said than, or easier said than done.
yeah. And I mean, to your credit, you're still, young, Bianca. Like I struggled with my boundaries for a very, very long time, and with my, just grace that I give myself. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna for sure.
Yeah. Unk in the chat said, I gotta fake the funk sometimes to hide what hurts. It's a hard
Mm,
thing that everyone struggles with, just because you want to try, like, you understand what needs to be done. You understand what the better part is. You can, you know, what you're feeling in that moment, it is real. And self-love is also validating yourself as well. It's not just
yeah,
setting the boundary, it's also validating what you feel. You can't set the boundary without acknowledging that this is where the line is drawn.
yeah. Um, when clearly we've all struggled with self-love. When do you guys think you first realized that that you struggled with self-love? Sure, it's like, back in my day. I'm just kidding. For me, it was, believe it or not, when I truly, truly realized it was when I moved to Texas 12 years ago. And that may seem like, oh, that wasn't that long ago for my age, you know what I mean? But like, it took me a really long time to realize that I was being very hard on myself a lot, and for the boundaries to start developing, because I didn't realize that I did truly need boundaries until I got away from some of the toxicity that I was around. And so it wasn't until I had space to really like see things, um, that I realized that I struggled very much with self-love. And people never knew that because,
They can
you
say
know,
that.
yeah, you just, like Unc said, you hide the hurt or you hide the struggle, right? And you just present yourself in the best light, um, because that's kind of what we're taught to do. Not so much these days, but yeah. Aiden Fire on our YouTube said, self-love for me is reminding myself that it's okay to make time for me. That's a big one. That's one I struggle with for sure right
What's
now.
that?
Time? No, just kidding. What is time? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely struggle with that.
I think for me, when I realized it was after I had my son.
Mm,
I think, having a kid puts life into a totally different perspective.
very true.
And so I think going through that whole process of like, kind of reintroducing myself to the relationship with his father, and then like when everything kind of fell apart, it was like, but why did you do that? Like, it was kind of like I realized then, like, something is off, because why would you have ever returned to that
Mm,
type of situation?
Oh,
mm,
And
yeah.
so, something was just off. And, I had to take some time to sit and process that and face that and, deal with everything that came with that. On top of having a new kid and realizing, like, now I have to live for somebody else and do for somebody else, but still work through my own things. I think that was the wake up call for me, was that
Mm.
time.
Wow. I think for me, I knew when I was struggling with self love when I didn't see value in myself.
mm,
When I easily was able to put others before me in any situation, even if I knew that it would hurt me, because for me, I saw the bigger picture as this is bigger than me, but I saw it in a way that it's not bigger than me. I'm just too small for this. Like I'm not valuable enough for this. My self-worth was floor level. I was putting my you know, I was putting everyone's worth above mine, and I was mistaking that for being a selfless.
mm,
But I'm like, in reality, it took therapy to realize that it's like, it's not that I was being selfless, it was that I just didn't see value in me, that I didn't love me enough to consider me as important or just as needing to be cared for.
mm, mm, mm. We are preaching today, ladies.
But now that looks different because now I see value in me, and that selflessness now seems like I'm being selfish to some
Mm,
people. Because now, everyone's used to me putting them first. Well, now I'm putting me first, and now I'm selfish. So let's talk about that when self-love seems to look like it's being selfish.
or even like, is there a line where it crosses? You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know the answer to this one, believe it or not. Like,
Like when it starts being selfish.
selfish, yeah. I think for me, it's different just because I'm, like, a parent, and
Mhm.
so, for me, there's lines drawn when it comes to, like, the well-being of my family, my children, things of that nature. But if I was to think of this from a solo perspective, like, if I didn't have children, if I didn't have a partner, things like that. I don't know where I would personally draw that line if I didn't have all of that.
I think the selfish part comes from, like, how negative does it affect somebody or does it hurt somebody? And are you aware that it hurts somebody? Because
Mhm.
I can self-love me knowing that it's not gonna satisfy you,
Right.
but I also know it's not gonna kill you, you know?
Right.
It's
Which
not
is not.
selfish, it's just not accommodating to you, but you
Mm.
weren't hurt in the end. So I think, to me, that selfishness only applies when someone is actually, like, getting hurt or it has an actual negative effect, not a dissatisfied effect, just an actual malicious hurting.
What about you, Shar? What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna pretty much kind of like say the same thing. Like I think, you draw the line even when it comes to like family and
Mhm.
having children, right? Like I think kind of getting there where it's like if it's not negatively affecting them in a way that's harmful, like I'm just gonna pick and choose my battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Where do you guys think it's possible to truly love another person if you don't truly love yourself first?
No,
Why not?
because I feel like you're placing like, that pressure on somebody else to do something that you can't even do for
Mm.
yourself. You're finding love in you want someone to find love in you when you can't find love in yourself. So it's like, are you trying to search for something that I can't see? But that's becoming either codependent, putting pressure. That's something that, it's all perception.
Mm.
So, are you trying to have someone else convince you that you are worthy of the good things, or what?
Mm. What about you, Shar? What do you think?
I'm gonna disagree, just simply because um, I think sometimes I had a train of thought and now I'm losing it. Great. Um,
Parent.
yeah, I think simply because sometimes we can call it self love, but I think sometimes you find your way of that through other people. So like just for instance, I work with children, and so I'm thinking more along that line, right?
Mhm.
A child can not like themselves, but they don't like themselves not realizing that it's not because of them, it's because of what they're constantly told and what's constantly happening around them, right? But it doesn't mean that that child doesn't love their parent
Mm.
and isn't
Mhm.
worthy of receiving that love back, or another adult. Like it doesn't even have to be their parent if they're dealing with all. So it's like I'm looking at it from just a different standpoint, that not just talking about adults who should be responsible for their actions and be held accountable for their actions, but if we're just talking about being humans in general, I think that, yeah, I think that it's possible.
I I go back and forth with this particular one. I think when it comes to knowing how to love other people, yeah, you have to have some self-love. But I think it is very possible to love others if you don't love yourself, almost to the point where it can be detrimental sometimes. Um, so for me, it's not, is it possible? Yes. I think sometimes we love others more than we love ourselves, and that's the problem sometimes.
Mhm.
I lean more towards should you? No, right? Should you um, love someone else if you don't love yourself? That's when I would say no. I don't think you should. Now, with that said, because self love is ever evolving,
Mhm.
it's hard to ever pinpoint, like, oh, yes, I so love myself now. And so, you know what I mean? So it's like that too is something that you kind of learn, whether it be with someone or not, you know? You're
Yeah.
surrounded by people you love your whole life. And so, yeah, it's possible. I just don't think it's wise when it comes to, like, relationship type love.
Mm.
Were you about to say something, B?
No, I think you made a good point on that. I mean, because it still kind of goes back to how when I said I didn't see myself as valuable, so I put everyone else before me. So
Mhm.
you do make that point.
Yeah, you were loving them more than you were loving you, and that's the
But I
part
think
that hurts
that's a little
people.
bit different too, though, because I easily can love somebody else, but the question was, can you accept someone loving you before you love yourself?
Mm,
So I'm gonna accept the love I think I deserve. I can give so much love. I have a lot of give, but I'll accept love that I think that I deserve. And if I didn't deserve love, then I'm not gonna accept it. I have so much to give, but I can't. I wasn't in that mindset to take any.
yes. I'm gonna go ahead and display our comments onto the screen here because I've been missing out a lot of these gems right now. Um, Aiden Fire said, I think it is possible to love without loving yourself. For example, being married for a long time, you go through stages, and in those stages, your feelings constantly change. So true. And it's not even just in marriage, just like in relationships in general. Like,
In life.
yeah, in life. Yeah. Fuzzy Bunny also said one that I really liked. He said, Yo, and that's it. I'm just kidding. He said, "I have loved without loving myself before, but it truly was because I wasn't putting myself first."
Or you weren't
So
taking yourself into consideration.
so does order of operations matter in those situations?
Maybe?
Because I don't even remember who I heard this from, but it was like even when you're married and you have children, the mistake that a lot of people, mothers in particular, do is that they put everyone in their family before them, right?
Mhm.
And so, and there was someone that I don't remember where I heard it, and I wish I did, but they were saying it has to be you first, and then your partner, because this is the person you're going to do life with. It's like it's I, and then it's we, because we have to be a unit together, right? We're raising a family together. We chose to do life together, and then it's the children. Then it's us. So it's I,
Mm.
we, then us. And so it's like when I first heard that, and this was several years ago, um, that hit me because that's not the way I was doing life.
Mm.
I've and I still struggle with this till this day, believe it or not. But I've always had my kids first, and then my partner, and then me. And so it's like where do I fit into this equation? Because after the kids and him, I'm like, I ain't got nothing left. You know what I mean? Like I've exerted all my energy and attention towards these people. And so it's a balancing act, just like
But
everything else in life.
what we have to remember too when it comes to that is what are you really giving them if you have nothing?
Hmm.
You cannot pour from an empty cup.
And that's what I've had to learn. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like it's like again, the hierarchy should be I, because if I'm not good, I'm not going to be a good partner. I'm not going to be a good mother. I'm not going to be a good friend, a good daughter, a good employee, a good anything if I'm not good. And then comes the additional pieces. Um, but I've
Allow
definitely
the cup
struggled
to
with that.
overflow and then pour into those people.
Right. Let them catch the overflow. That's a
Yeah,
good visual. I think you're muted, B.
Am I?
there you
Now,
are. We couldn't hear
yeah.
you.
I was like, "Am I? Hello? Hello?" You did kinda mention something, like, work related because 'cause we've been talking about family and relationships, but self-love also comes in work too. You kinda mentioned, like, how can I go on with work when I'm tired and I'm this and I'm that? Self-love also is PTO, it's also sick days.
Mhm.
So let's kind of talk about the different variations of what self-love is. I know internally we've talked a lot of like boundaries and, acknowledging self-worth and things like that. But externally, um, I kind of wanted to ask you too, like, how do you practice that self-love when you said you put your family first? You are a mother, you know, so you put everyone else before you. So as a mom, I know we just kind of we celebrated Mother's Day recently, but we didn't even get to touch on the subject of how do moms love on themselves?
For me, it changes, depending on what's going on, but, like, I feel like everyone does need those things that keep them more connected with themselves, and for me in particular, it's, creative outlets. Creativity is how I feel good. It's how I flourish. Now, what that creative outlet is has changed throughout my life on many, many, many occasions, but it varies from writing to music to a podcast to, just crafting, right? Like it's varied for me, but that is how I've been able to show myself some kind of priority
Mhm.
um throughout my adult life. Like even with this podcast, like real talk, I don't have time every week. You know what I'm saying? If I could get this, because it's not just the hour that we're live here with y'all people. Like we prep, we do things, we're uploading videos and shit like that. It takes time to be dedicated to something like this.
Mhm.
And every time I've gone into it, that's what I've told myself is like, I'm going to make time because this is my outlet. I want to do this. I want to have this time to sit here with my friends and these audience and discuss things that matter to us and that might impact someone or might help someone relate in some kind of way. And for some people that might not be self-love, but for me it is.
Yeah. What about you,
That's
Shari?
Um, I am quick to take a nap. I will go to sleep on your ass. A heart.
That is the most realist answer.
um, and now like I get a lot of flack for it, like a ton of it. And now I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm gonna go to bed at 9 o'clock
Mhm.
because my wake up time is early, and so deal with your own issues. Um, but I think like that's one thing for me. And then one thing that I kind of lost over the years for me is like listening to music. And I know like that is my voice of reason a lot of the times, like finding that right song, finding that one that I can just sing at the top of my lungs, ride around in my car by myself with the music as high as it can go. And like for me, that's all I need sometimes, to get in the shower and just blast my music and wash my hair.
Mhm. Yep.
Sometimes that's all I need.
Mhm.
um to have a good meal for me is like a good home cooked meal. That's me. And so, it's given the fact that I have children, I have to find the small things that I can do that do pour into me. And those are the small things that pour into me. Sharing moments with them, as oddly as it sounds, pours into me. Just those nights where we just laugh and be goofy and like
Mhm.
it fills my cup. To
Mhm.
have my bonus kids around fills my cup. Like I can like the weekends when I have them, it's chaotic, it's busy, it's crazy, it's a lot going on, all these personalities, all this energy. But then like the next day when it all kind of settles, I'm like, but my heart is smiling. I feel amazing. It's like it's just those
Mhm.
small things.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the present time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about you, B?
What you-
Oh, I'm not a mom. I don't know.
So how do you show yourself love?
um, I do a lot of. I like to have some alone time because, like Shari's like, in the moment, I have no problem in living in the moment and things, but I find more gratitude and self-love when I'm reflecting on it because I have a chance to actually acknowledge in the moment. I can enjoy it, in the moment, but I can acknowledge it afterwards, and I think I get a lot more of that self-love after because I can analyze more of what I'm grateful for. I can say, "Oh, I went to my mom's house, and that's a great time," but then afterwards, I'm like, "You know what? We sat, we talked about this," and I can really reflect on what was actually that highlight or what I am gratitude, what it made me feel. Just alone time in general. So if I'm like doing something in plants, if I am stuck in traffic, if I want to take a longer shower, I have that more reflective time. And it's not just being reflective, it's reflecting on the positive things because I
Mhm.
can fill myself with anxiety in the shower, no problem. But it's just turning that perception of how my life is going that I am more grateful that what I'm hearing more from my friends when I tell them that something good happened, they say, "Great, you deserve it." I'm
Mhm.
like, "You know what? Yes, I do." Because I would not have told myself that.
Mm, mm.
So now
Ditto,
it's
girl.
making yeah,
Ditto.
I'm hearing it from other people where it's like, "You know what? Good for you, B, you deserve it. All your the hard work that you're doing at work, your relationship, your this, your life, you deserve all the good things that are happening." And I don't tell myself that enough.
Mhm.
So the times that I have by myself, I'm able to reflect on that and repeat what they told me so that way I can be convinced of myself.
Mhm. I will say, as you guys were talking, I thought of something else as well that I've learned to allow myself to do, um, is cry.
Hmm.
Is allow myself, like, if I'm just feeling it, just let it out. I feel like every person needs moments where you are allowed to just fucking cry it out. Huh?
Mm,
Are you crying?
I'm not crying, but
Oh,
there's something in my eye.
I was like, what's happening?
It's like, "No, no, no,
Oh,
we're on cue, we're on
She's
cue,
I
so
go
was
ahead."
gonna say
moved.
she felt
I am
it.
so
It
moved by
happened.
She's
this. Go
so
ahead,
moved
Teresa.
by this right now, guys. No, but, like, I know not to put Bianca on the spot, but crying, like, because I feel like, at least in my life, like, I've had to be the strong one all the time. You have to build this tough exterior to, like, just stay above water sometimes. And so, like, in those moments where I'm feeling, like, overwhelmed or, like, I feel like I need to fucking scream right now, like, just giving myself a moment by myself to where I can just have a really good cry, whether it be,
Mhm.
like, in my bedroom alone or, like, in the shower, because that's usually when I have time for myself, you know what I mean? Or in my car, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause I will say, like, I try not to do that all the time in front of the kids because I not because I don't wanna show them the vulnerability, but because in that moment, I don't wanna explain why I'm crying.
Mm,
And with
mhm.
kids, they're, "Well, mom, what's wrong? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why?" And so it's like, that's why I have to, like, get away. But, we have Michelle in YouTube saying, "I haven't had a good cry in a while, thanks to my meds, LOL."
Well,
And
we
then
actually
we
have
have yeah.
another Michelle on Instagram that said, "Facts, sometimes you need a good cry because it helps cleanse your mind and your soul. Those tears just wash away the negativity. Sometimes
It
it's needed."
and it really does, like, I honestly, like, when I have a really good cry, I literally come out of it feeling like a weight was lifted, and
Oh,
then I look at
100%.
myself in the mirror and I'm like,
Like,
"Alright,
"Oh, we okay now." Yep, mhm.
we're good now, we had our good cry, now it's time to get back to business,"
Yeah.
But I
I've had
do
those
feel,
moments.
lighter in those
It
moments.
it's funny because, like, when you do cry, I mean, we say it all the time, like, crying is good. Whenever I have, like, a little breakdown, I'm like, Oh, okay. Yeah, I uncovered a lot more than I thought I was initially crying for. I didn't know how much I had, like, bottled up inside, where it's like, "Okay, my schedule yearly or quarterly cry is about to happen because, yes, it's gonna be that, a plant died, but I'm gonna be crying for 2 hours because it's not just the plant that died, it's my whole life that's in shambles that I you know, have been shelved and thought like, "Oh, this chaos is fun." I'm starting to reflect a little bit more. I'm like, "Okay, I'm crying more than just about this plant." And it really makes you think like, "Okay, this was I needed this. I didn't realize all these things were troubling me, but you know what? Let it all out. It's fine."
When I journal is when I cry the most.
Hmm.
Like, I'm literally sometimes sobbing as I'm writing because I have found, for me at least, I'm a lot more honest on paper than I am in my head.
Mm.
I am like sometimes because when I journal, I don't think about what I'm writing. I just write. And I'm very, very honest with myself about a lot of things when I'm writing versus just self talk.
Mm.
So I sob sometimes when I'm writing.
Oh, I feel that. I have whole ass conversations in the car. I don't journal, but I do have these conversations because yeah, that's my outlet. I'm talking to my grandma in the passenger seat, bless her soul. I was like, because if someone's gonna hear this,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Sorry, you've been real quiet for the last couple minutes.
I'm just thinking. I have some work to do.
Why do
like I
you say
like I just I used to be a really big crier, and
that?
like something shifted in life, and like I don't tend to cry as much as I used to. But crying used to really be an outlet for me, just when I felt overwhelmed or anything sad. Like I could really process my emotions a lot faster and a lot easier before. But now, like you said, like with the kids, like it makes it really hard because I don't. Like I think
Mhm.
I crashed out on them 2 weeks ago, and literally went off and like literally cried all the way to his baseball game. Like I just turned the music up loud. I put my sunglasses on. I'm literally just crying under my sunglasses the whole ride. Like, and I think it had been a long time since I've done that. And like to Bianca's point, it wasn't. It. I was frustrated in the moment with something that had happened that
Mhm.
morning, but I said something out loud, and when I said it out loud, it made me cry. And then I was just like, oh wow, this is deeper than him forgetting to bring the iPad. And I was like just going off, and I said, I don't ask for much. All I need is a little bit of help. And I just like could not control it. And I was like, holy
Yep,
shit, you
that'll
said that
do it.
loud. And like, okay, you said it. And like, now let's work through it. And I
Mhm.
admitted that. And that's hard for me to admit. I was only admitting it to my two children, but like, it still came out loud. And like typically
Mhm.
that's something that like I internalize and I deal with on the inside. Or don't deal with rather. But yeah, so it's like, that was a friendly reminder of like maybe I have to get back to that. That helps me. It does make you feel a little bit better. It gives you that that sigh at the end. That okay, even if everything is falling apart, okay, now I have the energy to pick up the pieces.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
you kind of give yourself that boost to now pick up the pieces and move forward with whatever it is you're doing or working on. So yeah, something I should probably get back to, but we'll see.
I wanna read, Unk's comments real quick because he said, he's a guy, he's being vulnerable right now. He said he had a moment the other day on Mother's Day, and he said the hardcore shell came off that day, and it sounds like you're kinda living in that hardcore shell that he's talking about, Shar.
All
And
the
yeah, and a lot of times it's circumstantial, right? It's like, well, I don't have a choice, but we have to remember, and again, easier said than done. Um, we have to remember to find ways to release from that shell every once in a while,
Mhm.
because it's very confining in there and suffocating at times. Um,
And it's funny that you said it because I was thinking it, but now like when you just said that, it makes it. It's like being a hermit crab, right?
Mhm,
And like they can replace their shells, and so it's like sometimes you have to come out of that. You have to release that shell and come out of whatever negative thoughts, feelings that you're having,
mm,
and maybe find a brighter color one and pick that one up and move on. Like
right.
it's a lot of that. So like wearing that hard shell is, sometimes you have to release it, and you may pick up another one, but it may be a different vibe. It may give off a different energy,
Mhm.
but still find a way to evolve.
The hermit crab is a perfect example
Mm-hmm.
because when they get out of the hard shell, they're completely vulnerable. They're
Mm-hmm.
completely exposed,
Completely.
and it is a great analogy for all of this right now that I was not expecting, but yes.
It
I'm
just
gonna
came when he said shell. I was thinking about the hermit crab, and then when he said come out of it, I was like, "That's crazy." I was like, "But then they find another one to replace it, and then it's so it's kind of it's the evolving door, right? The revolving door. It's
Mhm,
constantly moving and
Right,
stuff."
because they've evolved, so you need that new space. So much like you, as you're learning, growing, evolving, you're gonna respond to these same situations differently in a couple years from now, and your little hermit shell is not gonna fit.
mhm. It's not. You need a bigger, brighter one. Final question, because we are approaching the top of the hour. For our Instagram folks, we might get cut off. But final question: what is something that you guys have had to unlearn in order to love yourself better? I'll go first since y'all are thinking.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I was raised in a very Mexican household. And we were very much raised with the concept of, family over everything.
Mhm.
And, I still believe that to a certain extent, but I had to unlearn a lot of those things that were put into my head as a child when it came to family, when I realized that not all my family was good for me. Because when I was younger, it was like, "Oh, well, it's okay, they're family," like to give people passes because they're blood. And I had to unlearn that in order to create some of the boundaries that I've had to create in the last several years. But that was a big one. That was a difficult one for me to unlearn.
Hmm. That's yeah, I think boundaries is um a good thing to kind of establish. For me, I've had to unlearn the thoughts that were put into my head as a teenager, young adult, and that's I mean, I struggled a lot with self-worth.
Mm,
So, coming to here now where, I said, like, I'm hearing a lot of my friends and close circle say that I deserve the good things that are happening, that I am worth the good things too. I've had to unlearn being told the exact opposite of that.
mm,
It's like everything turning the the act of selflessness, and acknowledging that it was because I did not love myself is a big major 180 that I've tried to, act on in the last few years, is just acknowledging that I do have self-worth, that I am valuable. Yeah. We're not gonna cry towards the top of the hour.
sorry, what about you?
Um, I wouldn't say that it's something that I've learned yet, but in the process of learning and just having conversations out loud recently is learning to unlearn that people's opinion of me matter.
Mm, that's a good
And
one.
I think that, and other people's opinion of me. Um, I think I've always, was kind of raised that way. Like, you do things because of how people are going to perceive you and how people are going to look at you. And, we're kind of just taught that
Mm-hmm.
to a degree. And I think now, like, I'm just kind of, my only concern is what my higher power and I believe think of me. And that's kind of just where that's at. And like, even with my children, I kind of can't leave it up to them either and let their thoughts of me be the final decision, which I think I've done a lot too. Um, at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm living this life for the first time, just like they are, and I'm still trying to figure it out as I go.
Yeah,
So it's unlearning to care about other people's thoughts and opinions of who I am.
that's a really good one,
Yeah.
Shari. It's a great way to close the show.
Self love, people.
Self-love, people, self-love. I mean, we are at the top of the hour, but I just want to say, like, I really do hope that there's someone out there that just comes across this video of this episode and realizes that they really do need to love on themselves a little bit more. And hopefully, we've motivated, because I feel motivated right now to be like, yep, mm-hmm. Teresa, you said a lot of really nice things, but I need you to
Work on it.
Right.
Do it.
continue to do the work, because you deserve it. Right, B?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other closing remarks from you ladies?
Um, I keep saying you accept the love you think you deserve. So if you deserve the best, then you get the best. Self love is about not just about feeling confident, but just how you respond to yourself over time. So
Yes.
give yourself that time.
Just love up on yourself. Love up on yourself. All right, B, let everybody know how they can follow, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. While you're self-loving on yourself, you can love on us. You can follow, like, and subscribe to us on our social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at It's No Secret Podcast. We do have an X account at It's No Secret Pod. And if you can't join us for our live streaming every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, then you can definitely listen to us on our Apple and Spotify accounts. And if you want to rewatch our live streams, then you can do that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. And really quick, before Shari says this, I just need to show this. Go Spurs, go.
Outnumbered, Shari.
And until next time, remember, it's no secret.
Bye.
Bye.